Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Welcome back, everyone. We're live once again. Can't get rid of me that easy. Had some technical issues last week. I apologize for that. Every now and then, those kind of things happen. But I think we are back up and running. We did make some changes. We are live on YouTube only now. Facebook Live didn't have a lot of good numbers over there, so we're just going to go live on YouTube only, which we are right now. We're live on Tuesday, the 30th, September the 30th. Can you believe that? And then we're going to upload the video to Facebook, so you'll still be able to watch the video on Facebook if you are used to doing that and you don't want to change and come over to YouTube. But it's just you'll have to watch it after the fact. It won't be live on Facebook. But anyway, we're going to implement that change. It's a little less stressful on the equipment also. Not going live on two platforms, a lot less things to go wrong. Hope everybody's doing good. So now I only have to look at the YouTube comments. So that takes a little bit of pressure off of me also. Galactic Technologies, what's going on, Daniel? Thank you for hanging in there with us, man. Ricky Smith, what's up, Ricky? Helpless Garage in Cabot, yeah, man, it is beautiful in Arkansas this time of year. I think I have come to the conclusion that September and October is probably going to be my favorite time of the year in Arkansas. And so I know depending on where you live, it might be different, but man, it is nice here in September when it starts slightly cooling off, you know, not cold yet, but it is just slightly cooling off. When you see me wearing my favorite outfit that I've talked about before, I wear a hoodie and Crocs and socks, then you know it's cold outside in Arkansas. But yeah, it's been really nice. Gene Henson, what's up, Gene? What's up, Rhea? Thank you for joining us. Hello, fellow Gearheads. Harry Fike. What's going on, Harry? Kurt, ATM was worried about last week. Yeah, we just had some technical issues, but everything is fine. Everything is good. Joe Foster, good day, everyone. Awesome day in North Carolina. David Irwin, good afternoon. And yes, we missed you guys last week. Galactics is beautiful sunny weather here. Now working on repairing my work van before it's the rainy season. How you doing, Tim? I'm doing good, Daniel. Doing good. Everything is good. We're back to normal. Should be back to normal with some slight changes. You know, we're just going to try this going live on YouTube only thing for a little while. See how that works out. Who knows? It may not work out. We may go back to doing the double live on Facebook also. But for now, we're only going to be live on YouTube. We're going to do the same thing. I still have Let's See segments with pictures. I have one today loaded up from Craig. I don't know if Craig's in the room yet, but he sent me a picture. I've got something loaded up for today. Stephen Coon, greetings from Barth, Florida. What's going on, Stephen Coon? I'm glad everybody's showing up today. I appreciate that. Bob Lewis, hey Tim, I'm glad to see you're on track today. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Louis Borghese, missed the last couple of weeks, felt like I was missing something in my life. Life is back to normal now. Thank you, Louis. I'm glad that we can make your life back to normal. Greg Elliott, hi Tim and everyone from the colorful Bristol, Virginia. Let's see what Tim and the GC Geek Golf Cart Guru has in store for us today. Today, we have an interesting set of regular questions, but who knows what we're going to get into. Hey Tim and good people from the villages. What's up, William Rizzo? Mike, MI6, afternoon, 81 is sunny in southwestern Indiana. Glad you're back. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. We should be back, should be no glitches. We're hoping for no glitches now because we were constantly having a glitch with Facebook there, and that was causing some problems and that was causing some hiccups, and I don't like to be late. So if the glitch makes me go past time before I'm supposed to go live, I know a lot of you guys are on a schedule. Well, I'm on a schedule too. My time's important also. So if it's too late, I don't like to go live if it's late. I like to go live at the time that I say I'm going to go live. So hopefully we won't have any glitches like that. Tim, I will send you pics of my new street rod golf cart. Cool, send it to me, man. Send it to me. Got you good sound. All right, cool. Thank you, Harry. Aaron, took a break from a DS lift kit to log in. Oh, thank you. I did get your information that you sent me, Aaron, on that golf cart thing. Are you gonna, I wanted to ask you, are you gonna make that? Are you gonna make that golf cart event that you sent me info on? That's what I wanted to ask you. Because if you do, please take some pictures. 82 in the Villages in Florida. Cool. That sounds good. Haven Speckman, hello from Minnesota. 80 degrees this week. Man, it's nice everywhere. If it's 80 in Minnesota, I bet that is nice. Fish Breath. What's up, Fish Breath? Haven't seen you in a while, man. Hey, Tim from, God, I forgot how to pronounce it. Tehachapi. Yeah, Tehachapi. I got you. What's up, Fish? George Bremer, beautiful Hilton, New York. Stephen Kuhn, welcome back. Thank you, Stephen. Pete Cigar, I have an EasyGo DCS. Is the All-Trax a good controller to use on this? Yes, the correct All-Trax, Pete, would be a good controller to use on the DCS because, like I've said many times, all DCS cars need a new controller. I'm sorry, EasyGo, but they do. All DCS cars need a new controller. So All-Trax would be a good one. This Saturday, Madison, Indiana golf cart poker run. Yep. Yeah, that's what you sent. Yeah, that's what I read. Ricky Hall. What's up, Ricky Hall? Thank you for dropping by. I got some cool stuff I'm about to send you pics of that you've been waiting on and not forgot about. Okay, cool, Daniel. Send them to me, man. Big Mike. What's going on, Big Mike? 78 in Northwest Indiana. Yeah, seems like we're all close to the same temperature, you know, even further north. So you're not too far off from where we are here in Arkansas. Bruce from Westfield. Aaron says, I'm all the way in. I spent way too much not to. All right, cool, man. Eagle River Mike. What's going on, Eagle River Mike? Thank you for stopping by, sir. I got to get used to not having to click over to check Facebook. So I can concentrate on the YouTube chat. Let me make sure all this is working. Let me run some social media links. Please like and subscribe. You can subscribe on Facebook also, but we only go live on YouTube so as of now. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. I appreciate everything you do there. That was some social media links there. I'll run them again that you can follow us on. TikTok and Instagram stuff. We're everywhere. Okay, let's see where we go here. Okay. Tuesday, September 30th, the garage is now open. So we're going to get started with the regular scheduled questions, and I'm sure there will be some other things pop up in the chat, and I can see it immediately because I'm not on Facebook, so that's cool. Question number 1 is from Guy. I'm trying to find a solution to a problem I have with my club car precedent that has a ROX 4-inch lift kit on it. The problem is that the standard shocks are completely compressed and do not provide any shock absorbent. I was wondering if there is a shorter shock available that would fit and provide some shock absorbent. Any ideas? Thanks. Guy, sounds like to me you might have something else. You got something else wrong, because there's unless that lift kit was supposed to come with its own set of shocks, something's not right. You should have been able to utilize your existing shocks, and they should not be all the way compressed. So it could be a lift kit issue. So I would check with, I'd clear that up first. Clear that up that you didn't get the wrong lift kit, or that you're not missing some parts or something with it, because it definitely should not be that way. I think you got something else wrong. So clear all that up before we start making guesses and stuff is what I would want to do. Okay. John in the chat, I have a 2009 gas precedent. When it gets hot, 18 holes and 2 miles home, it sounds like an exhaust leak develops and disappears when it cools. I cannot find the leak. Where should I be looking? Well, see what happens when the engine gets hot. You got when I hear something like that, I think about, well, okay, you're saying that it only does it when it gets hot. Well, we all know what happens when metal gets hot. It expands. So if you've got a gap somewhere, a gap in the exhaust, a gap in the head gasket, once it gets hot, that gap could increase. You know, the hotter it gets, the more the metal is going to, you know, that gap could increase. If there's a leak, my guess would just be in the exhaust pipe itself. 2009 gas precedents could have lots of hours on it. So you could have a rotted out exhaust pipe that is only showing up after it gets good and hot. I would try, around the exhaust to just concentrate on the exhaust first and then move your way back to the head, when you're looking for that leak. There's really no set way to find an exhaust leak if that's what it turns out to be. Anybody else in the room have any other suggestions for John on how to try to determine where he's got a leaking sound coming from? Please write it in the chat there. Number 2. I don't know if y'all can hear that noise. I have a new ice maker now in my shop, and I forgot to turn it off. So I have tons of ice. If anybody needs any ice, you stop by my shop and I can fill up your ice chest. Question 2 is from Joseph. Batteries after charging don't last. I have 6 8-volt batteries. What can I do? Batteries after charging don't last. I have 6 8-volt batteries. What can I do? Joseph. Well, first, Joseph, I would want to know, how did you come to the conclusion that your batteries don't last? Because we need to verify that is what's going on. Because in fact, I see Jerry Lee's question in the chat right now. I'm going to talk about thermal shutdown again. Thermal shutdown can feel exactly like batteries not lasting. So we would need to determine which one it is. And the way to do that is you're going to have, when your golf cart goes dead or whatever it's doing, whatever the symptom is, you need to take a voltmeter and put on your batteries and see if you've got one that dropped out on you. Because if you don't, if you don't see it drop out on the voltmeter, then it's not your battery. So we have to determine that it is actually your batteries first. Jerry Lee says, hey Tim from Central Illinois, thanks for your advice on my thermal shutdown on my 2006 EasyGo PDS car. All good now. Change control out with a Navitas DC1. Appreciate it. No problem, Jerry Lee. I'm glad it worked for you, man. I'm glad I was able to help you or get you on the right track. Like I said earlier about all EasyGo DCS cars need a new controller. Depending on what you're doing with your PDS car, it may need a new controller too. All of them, depending on what you're doing. Now, if you're just playing golf with your PDS car and it's stock height and everything, then you may get away with that controller that's in there that comes from the factory for a long time. But if you start lifting PDS cars, putting taller tires on them, and trying to take them to the deer lease, ain't gonna work. Sorry, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work for very long, and you're going to end up disappointed. So you may as well, and you can make it work by changing the controller and taking out all the weak points. Well, that's the first weak point in a PDS car, is the controller. And in a DCS car, it's an even weaker point. Galactic says, has anyone seen that racing golf cart that Farm Truck and AZN made their video of going around with it on the dyno? I haven't. Maybe somebody in the room has. I haven't seen what you're talking about there, Daniel. Stephen Coon says, Joseph, go lithium. Joseph, what was Joseph's question? Oh, that was one of my questions about his 6 8 volt batteries. Yeah, yeah. If it's pretty much time for everybody to go lithium. If you're in the market for a battery job, that's going to put a really big. I would love to be able to see the numbers, the lead acid numbers overall. I'm talking about, just the lead acid golf cart battery numbers from all the manufacturers. I'd love to see what their sales were 5 years ago and what their sales are now. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see the difference between 5 years ago lead acid sales, golf cart lead acid sales, and their sales now. That would be interesting. Bart Gilman, hi Tim, is there a company where you can send your controller for repair? Yes, there is. There are lots of places that you can send your controller for repair if it's a repairable controller. If it's a good core, like they'll have to determine after they take it off if it's actually a viable candidate. But the one that I used for many years was FSIP, Frank Sam India Paul, FSIP. Now I think it's called an acronym. That's an acronym for Flight Systems Industrial Products. They rebuild controllers and have been for many, many years. But there's some other people that can do it too now. Flight Systems used to be like one of the only ones in the game, but there are other companies out there that can do it now. Harry Fike says, put a little transmission fluid in the carb till it starts to smoke. Then plug the tailpipe. Hey, now that's a good idea. I don't know if I've ever heard that one, Harry, but that's good. I like that. This is to try to find a leak, that the person was talking about. Put a little transmission fluid in the carb till it starts to smoke. Then plug the tailpipe with it running. Plug the tailpipe and look for the smoke to come out somewhere else that it's not supposed to come out. I got you. I'm going to remember that one. I guess you could use brake fluid too. Transmission fluid or brake fluid I think would work, because I know if you burn brake fluid through there, it will start to smoke a little bit too. That's a mechanics trick that I had forgotten about, because in shop class in high school they demonstrated that to us, that you could put brake fluid in the truck, in a running truck until it started to smoke, and then you plug it up and then you start looking around for the smoke to exit in places that it's not supposed to. So yeah, thank you for reminding me about that. Fish breath, my buddy has a club car Onward. It started losing complete power. Doesn't feel like an M-core issue. It seems to happen right after you take off. Once you are moving, everything seems fine. Club car Onward. So I'd have to know more about the symptom there. Generally, Fish, M-cores aren't known to just lose complete power. That's not normally the way they fail. I'm not saying that they can't fail that way. They tend to, your acceleration will go up and down even though your foot's being held in one place. In other words, it will pulsate. Your acceleration will pulsate, faster, slower, even though your foot is held in one position. That's how they, most of the time, tend to fail. Haven't really had one, I don't think, fail where it just loses complete power. So there must be something else going on there. But if it's a club car Onward, then they can plug in and look at fault codes on that. If he wanted to go to a shop and just see what the fault code is showing up, because if he's losing complete power, then it would have stored some type of fault code. Now, that's why the reason I said I wanted to know more about the symptoms, because a speed sensor issue, you said it seems to happen right after you take off. Like if he takes off and everything seems to be fine, and then boom, it drops down to about 2 or 3 miles an hour, even though your foot's still on the floor, that could be a speed sensor issue. Jerry Kelly, howdy Tim from Texas. What's going on, Jerry Kelly? Gary England, Hi, everybody. Missed last week. I think my phone was on the fritz. Well, we weren't here last week, Gary, so you didn't miss anything. We had some technical issues, so you didn't miss anything. Ricky Smith, how's your battery testing going? Oh, my lithium. Well, it's going good. It's going good. Uh, so far, so good. But like I said, that's not long-term data. I mean, uh, so far we're only into it. I'm into it about Uh, I'm into it about 10 miles. I'm doing 10-mile runs. Can't really do runs in my neighborhood. My neighborhood is very, very hilly, and I'm running stock PDS motor with a 500 amp controller and on 20-inch tires on a lifted cart, a lifted PDS. So the motor starts to heat up to the point that if I try to ride around in my neighborhood up and down all these hills, motor starts to heat up to a point where I get a little uncomfortable with it. So I have to actually take my cart somewhere else and to do more than that, you know, flat ground testing to see how many miles I'm up to. But so far, I'm very impressed. I mean, I'm really just mainly impressed by what happens with the dramatic weight loss when you go to lithium. It's not really a speed thing. It's just the weight loss causes your power to be so much more. And the cart's pretty fast. I mean, I took it out on flat road. Uh, I mean, they set my All-Tracks controller that I ordered for it. You know, when you order an All-Tracks controller from your cart, they should ask you lots of questions. They should ask you what kind of battery you're using. They should ask you, are you running stock motor? They should ask you, how do you want this, you know, configured? They need to configure it for your particular car for throttle input and all that stuff if you want it to be a plug and play. So if they don't ask you a lot of questions about that, or if when you're picking out your All-Tracks controller or your Navitas controller, you need to find out, you know, what's the deal with that, because it's better when you get them in their plug and play. Well, mine was set up plug and play, and the cart's over 20 on 20-inch tires. I'm running about 25 miles an hour on a PDS on 20-inch tires. Kurt, Tim, have you noticed how far down the price and the amount of new manufacturer surface prices are way down? Yes, I have. Yep, they are way down. That's why I'm saying it has not been a better time to buy lithium than now. And as time goes on, I'm assuming it's just going to get better and better. That's why I was saying I'd love to see the lead acid sales chart, you know, for the lead acid golf cart batteries, you know. I'd love to see how much they have decreased over the last 5 years. Stephen Kuhn says olive oil works and burns cleaner. All right, cool. That would be another way to find a leak. Use olive oil. That's good to know. Keith, hey Tim, Keith from Nashville checking in, 80 degrees and sunny night. Yes, it is nice. Very nice. Aaron says, I do 25 to 30 mile runs, long country miles a day sometimes. I hit 40 or 45 miles in a day. I get down to about 12% from 100% in a day. That's a long day on a golf cart. Joe Foster hat day, question mark. I wanted to see, Joe, I wanted to see, because of the changes, we made some changes with the way that we're going live and everything. I wanted to make sure that everything is fine and everybody was getting notification and everybody understands the YouTube thing. So I tell you what I'll do. I will officially make an announcement today that hat day is next week. Next week we will be giving away a bag of swag. All right, because I know everything's working now, but I wanted to make sure, because I want to make sure everybody, you know, gets in the room. So I will make the announcement today that next week we will be giving away a hat. I know normally I'm supposed to not make that announcement, but I am, because we missed last week. I was planning on giving a hat away last week. William Rizzo, the guy that invented autocorrect passed away. He may a restaurant in peace. That's funny. He'll be here soon. I'll be looking. When you take off, the fish says that when you take off, it starts out fine, then drops to no power at all. Sometimes you can push the throttle to the floor a couple of more times and it would take off again. And sometimes you have to go from forward to reverse, then it will start again. Huh. Well, that doesn't really sound like a speed sensor. Fish, that sounds, I guess that could be MCOR. But I'll tell you what, it would show up. It would show up like a sore thumb, especially if it does it every time. It would show up on their little computer they plug in and look at it. They can test the MCOR without even driving the cart. They can look at the MCOR setting just to see if it's going to 0 to 100% as they push their foot down on the accelerator pedal. So if he's losing MCOR anywhere, it would show up real quick. I mean, it would take him 5 minutes to get that out of the equation. Larry England, late but I'm here. Here soon, I'll be looking for a lithium. Oh, okay, Big Mike, I got you. That's pulling 3 people, 3 dogs, and my trailer. You ever check your motor temp, Aaron? I mean, have you ever stopped and, after a long run or doing stuff like that and put your hand on your motor? Because I would be interested, in how hot yours is getting after doing all that. I could just be overreacting. I just don't like heat, I mean, so I've been stopping after my motor gets to the point where I can't keep my hand on it. But I could be overreacting there. Stephen Coon said on a test on flat track, I got 52 miles before I got too tired and had 30% of my lithium left. What amp hour lithium is that, Stephen? And tire height? Yeah, that's what I like to know. Amp hour of the battery and tire height on the golf cart. 40C to 45C, I'm not sure about the motor itself. My battery gets to 40C. Okay, yeah, that's what I was worried about. My battery doesn't get warm at all, but my motor does. My motor gets warm, but it is a stock PDS motor on a 20-inch tall tire. Haven Speckman. All right, this may be an idea for you, Fish. Haven Speckman said had the same problem with a Club Car Precedent 48. Had to get moving, had to push to move it sometimes. Ended up being stuck brushes in the motor. There you go. I haven't seen that one before, but that's very possible. Okay, see, Aaron, you're running a D&D 10 horsepower, so it's that motor's designed for it. So you're probably not. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I kept stressing that I am on a stock motor. So that could be the cause of my heat, that I'm running a stock motor, and and I got lithium in there now. Lithium makes it easier to put a bunch of amps, through it. So that could be it. I have a torque motor for the car, but I broke it, and I've got to get it repaired. And I'm hoping that as soon as I get that repaired and get that back in there, that my motor heat problem will go away. Stephen Coon says 105 amp hour, standard tires, 95 easy go. All right, 52 miles on a 105 amp hour battery. That is cool. Big Mike says, what are you recommending for lithium amp hour? That's why I was asking his tire height, Big Mike. That's why I was asking him, Steven, about his tire height. Because that's 2 things I'd want to know when you're giving me range estimates on your lithium, or you're giving me range numbers. Obviously, we know that the higher the amp hour, the more range you're going to get. But your taller tires are going to impact that too. I would recommend for completely stock cars, I think we talked about this before, but completely stock cars with normal tires, the lowest you should go is those 60 amp hour batteries. Now that's if you never plan to upgrade that car anymore. It's going to stay stock. Put a 60 amp or 50 amp hour, and you should be fine. That's designed for a replacement battery pack for a completely stock golf cart. If you ever plan to upgrade, if you ever want to go any higher with your tire size, you ever want to do lift kits, then you're going to need to go up to a 105, you know, for normal stuff. Now you, on the other hand, you like the real tall tires. So for your case, I would probably like a 160. And I know you're not, well, your name is Big Mike, so I know you're not a small guy. So 160, you should be fine, even with your tall tires. That's a big battery there. I mean, that's a good, strong battery. Aaron, it's just my wife and I have gone 53 miles on a 6-inch lift on 23s, 100 amp hour battery. All right, well, that's good to know too. Fish says, I'm looking at buying a used golf cart and they said the batteries are testing at 77 to 80 minutes. What does that mean and is that good? I'll tell you exactly what that means, Fish. That means that they have, you're talking about a golf cart shop most likely, because that means they have a discharge tester, and on the discharge machine, those batteries will go 77 to 80 minutes without getting into an unsafe voltage. In other words, without going to an unsafe voltage. When I would sell a used battery pack to anybody in a golf cart, I would know those exact numbers. I would know that battery pack will go 75 minutes. I had a 75-minute rule. If they wouldn't go 75 minutes on the discharge tester, I would not sell them as a used pack. So that tells you see, a brand new set of batteries, let's just say, we'll compare that to brand new. A brand new set of Trojan T105 lead acid will go over 100 minutes on a discharge tester. So that tells you how far off they are from brand new. They're down to about 77 to 80 minutes. So that's, you know, basically 70 to 80%, you know, of a brand new set of lead acid is where those are at. Now, you have to keep in mind though, that is only where they're at on that given day. On that given day, that battery pack is fine to put in a golf cart and go play golf in it. It's on that given day. Next week, you could have one cell drop out in one of those batteries. So it's a good number to know, you know, because you're not lying to the customer when you say it's 77 to 80 minutes and it's good to go. Well, that is actually true. It's good to go on that given day. All right, see, and not a lot of dealers are going to say that part. They're just going to say, oh, it goes 77 to 80 minutes. I mean, a brand new one goes 100, so they're not even very far off a brand new. They're not going to tell you the second part that they should be telling you, which is that's today. Now, next week, they could go out. Or you could have one go out, you know, one cell and one battery could go out. William Rizzo says that's a good thing about AC motors. They don't get hot like DC does. That's correct. The DCs do get hot when you put them under a load for a long time. They will get hot. My race car, it does fine, but it only is designed to run down the track. You know, if I tried to ride around in my race car for a really long period of time, putting a strain on it, just riding around on flat ground, it doesn't get hot at all. I can go forever. I would like to do a range test on that. I think that that would be an incredible range on that. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll do a flat ground range test on the race car because it has virtually, literally, not virtually, it has literally almost no rolling resistance. It's got 6 to 1s in it and no rolling resistance and very, very light. That would be a good one to do a range test on. I've got a 36-volt lithium. Just happen to have one that I could do that on. Sir Walter, not much difference in cost between 60 and 105. Why not just go to 105? That is a very good point because that's correct. There isn't much cost, especially now. Just go to 105, you know, and get the better range. And that way you can do, you know, you can do a lot of upgrades with 105. Car has 6-inch lift for comfort, but stock tires to protect controller. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, when I say lifted cars, you know, start putting a strain, that's not it. The lift doesn't do anything. The lift doesn't strain anything. It's the taller tires that strain. So you can lift your car all you want. Aaron says he's been hard on my battery just to test the limits, and I've been keeping track of miles and time and all the variables, for example, number of people, dogs, trailer, or not. See, that's the way I would want to do it too, Aaron, because we don't have a lot of long-term data, and I appreciate you doing that because that gives us something to talk about here, and people make decisions off some of the things that we talk about. Matt Salmon, is there a lowering kit for a club car? I don't know of one, Matt, but that doesn't mean that there's not some company out there that makes a custom lowering kit for a club car. Because I have seen a lot of lowered club cars. I just assumed that they were all, you know, somebody that's good with a welder. They can look up under there and they say, okay, I can do this and that, and I can figure, you know, they can figure out how to lower one. Could be in the front, could be as easy as instead of a drop spindle, could be a rise spindle to lower the front. But I don't know of just one that you can buy right off the shelf. If you do find one, I get that question a lot. So if you do find one, I would appreciate you coming back and letting us know in the chat, because you're not the only one that, you know, that asked that question. There's a lot of people interested in that, not only for a club car, but for easy goes also. So if you do end up finding something that I'm not aware of, let us know here at Golf Cart Garage, or let us know here in the weekly live that we do every Tuesday at 12 noon Central Time on YouTube. Okay, let me go to question 3 here. Question 3 is from Ralph. I have a 2015 Precedent with a very small lift, and I need to keep it as close to the same height, so no big lifts. It has to fit in my toy hauler. See, this is actually a common question too. 15-inch wheels and 205s tires. I need more steering clearance. I saw kits for the day to move the front axle forward, but nothing for this car. I also considered using some small spacers, but I'm not sure if that will help or hurt. The rear rubbing can be fixed with some small lift shackles or a little trimming. No big deal. It's rubbing the frame and rubbing on the back of the floor at about half 3/4 turn. Any ideas? Figured I'd ask before a bunch of trial and error. I would never have built it like this, but my wife and sons love it. Trying to make it functional. This is from Ralph. Okay. Sorry about that. This is what I would do, and that's a common question too. I would you can literally make some mock-up spacers, because you said you know how to fix the rear, so you're only talking about the front. Don't go out and buy spacers if you're not sure they're going to work. I understand that. You don't want to just throw money at it if you're not sure it's going to fix the problem. So in order to figure out if you can fix the problem or not, get your jigsaw out and make you a spacer. I'm talking about a 1-inch spacer out of a 1-inch thick piece of wood, drill holes in it, and put it up there and put your wheel on it, because the spacer is just spaces your wheel out, and then, you know, somehow connect it to the wood with some bolts or whatever what you got to do. It doesn't have to be something that's rideable. It only has to be something that will space your tire out, and then you can turn it and see if it's going to hit or not. That would be the only thing I could think of, other than borrowing some spacers just to see if that's going to fix your problem, because just thinking off the top of your head, this never works out because there's too many variables involved. The sag in your suspension, the age of your suspension. I mean, there's no one set answer about what's going to work or not. Aaron, is it normal for a 2007 48-volt Yamaha cylinder to click when you turn the key on? My camper's neighbor has 100% battery voltage but won't move, and no clicking when the key gets turned like it did before. I think, if I remember right, Aaron, on a Yamaha that is normal. If I remember right, see, it's a little different than other cars. Most cars, that is not right. But I think on a Yamaha, on that particular electrical system, 2007, if it's a region and has a run tow switch, I am almost positive that that's normal, that they click when you turn the key on. I believe. Unless somebody in here has a 2007 range Yamaha that knows it's any different. Stephen Coon says, I used 1.5-inch wheel spacers on all 4 wheels to help increase clearance on my car. There's my wife, Cat Free. Nice shirt. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and yes, I am matching today also. So I got the green ring, and I got the green shirt with the tan stuff and the tan stitching in my hat. See? Aaron G, it has a run toe switch. Yep. I think that's normal, Aaron. That solenoid clicks when you turn the key on. Jerry Lee, 36 volt 2006 EasyGo PDS. Okay, that's just like mine. Lead acid batteries running 23-inch tires lifted. Drove it 7 miles on our lightly ride with wife and grandkids. New Navitas controller and mod solenoid. Controller temperature 119 degrees. What about motor temperature there, Jerry Lee? Do you know? Because yeah, that Navitas controller, you're not going to have any problems out of that. What motor are you running? And I'd like to know what temperature you're getting to on the motor. Number 4. Should be only one solenoid in Yamaha's on 2007. Should be only one. William Rizzo says he wore the same hat playing golf yesterday. Cool. Jerry Lee says, I don't know, but you have me thinking. How did you measure temperature on your controller, or did you just plug in a laptop or something and to tell you what temperature is? Because I'm fixing to go get me some of them, you know, I don't have one anymore. I used to have one of the laser thermometers. You know, I need to get one, especially for my testing, because since I'm worried about motor getting too hot. That's the next car coming to my shop after I get the lift kit done on the C Club Car DS. All right, cool. Keep me updated, Aaron. Let's see, where am I at? Number 4 over here. Oh, Navitas Bluetooth app. Okay, that's right. You said Navitas. I'm sorry. Yeah. So that'll tell you the temperature of the controller. I got you. That's cool, man. It's hard to get used to the fact that we can do that nowadays. That is so cool. But get you a laser thermometer and get a reading on motor temp. In fact, I'm gonna go to Amazon today and order one, because mine is non-existent. I don't know where it's at. See, Greg Elliott says to Aaron, 2016 Yamaha, solenoid clicks when key is turned on. It's the 51 amp lithium. That's what I thought. I thought that was normal for Yamahas. It's not normal on all cars, but that is, I think it is normal. That's what I was remembering, that it was normal on Yamahas. Tells you temp, so I'll check maybe motor temp as well. Cool. Number 4 is from Mac. I have a Yamaha G2. Did I ever tell y'all I like G2s? I really like G1s, but I had a G2 for a long time also. I think they're awesome, especially gas ones. I'm talking about gas G1s and gas G2s. Pretty cool car. I ran the crap out of my G2. Did a lot of work with it. Got a lot of work done. I have a Yamaha G2. Is the wheel bearing pressed into the hub? Am I better off replacing the hub and all? I don't think so. I think it's on the axle. I think it's a axle bearing. I don't think you got a hub bearing in a G2. It's going to be an axle bearing, so it's going to be pressed onto the axle. Unless I'm not remembering something right there, which is possible. I have a pretty good memory, but it's not flawless. I started to do cart upgrades for fellow permanent campground campers. Well, that's how it gets started, Aaron. Before you know it, you will have done it for 20 years. That's what happens. My brother has a green body, yellow accents on his gas G1. He calls it his Yamadeer. Cool. Yeah, it's amazing how many gas G1s are actually still out there. They're really cool though. They're cool. Once you have one, you'll never forget it. And I still have one. I used to have 8. I had 8 of them. I had 8 gas G1s at one time. And I sold them all except for one. I wish I would have kept them. There's part of me that wishes I would have kept them. I have a question about front wheel bearing maintenance. What is the best grease to use for this lower speed application? I know a car that uses real sticky heavy grease, which seems like too much resistance. Or will regular all-purpose grease that you use from a grease gun work? Well, I think you kind of answered your own question there. This is a very low speed application. So yes, there's no doubt about it. Regular grease from a grease gun will be fine. That would be absolutely fine. You're not gonna feel resistance by the way you grease your bearings unless you're really getting technical like at the racetrack. The only time I ever worried about that was when I was going to go race my car in the 8th mile and try to get the best time I possibly could. I would make sure that I did not grease my bearings because I wanted it to be as thin as possible in there. And if they blew out, I'd put some new ones in there. You know, I'd put a little grease in there, but I wouldn't go overpack them when I was trying to get the least amount of rolling resistance like I was talking about before. But in just normal golf cart usage, regular grease would be fine on bearings. Number 6. All right, this is from Nick. I have a 2005 TXT Series cart with a drop axle lift. Is there a process for changing out my front hubs and wheel bearings? If there is a spec sheet or something to look at, someone has to be great. I do not have a packer, so I need to know if there is another shade tree type way to put bearings back in the new hub with the bearing lubricant. Also, can I use a socket to get the nut off the spindle? Thank you for any help. Well, yes, Nick, you're asking questions that have been around for many, many years because golf cart bearings in the front, like what you're talking about, they're very, very similar to automobile bearings. The bearings in the hubs are roller bearings. I think that may have been what this was. The title of this episode was something about that, wasn't it? I think it was. That must be where I got it from. That must be where the title came from, was this question. But yeah, I tell you what, if you don't know how to grease roller bearings, it's very easy to put the packing grease in there. You put the grease in your hand and you take the bearing and you scrub it, and as you turn the bearing, you actually scrape the grease off of your hand. There's going to be a YouTube video for that. So just go to YouTube and type in greasing roller bearings. There's going to be thousands of videos demonstrating how to grease roller bearings. Very easy, but it's been that way for many, many years on roller bearings, and that's what golf carts have in the front there is roller bearings with a bearing race. It's a very, very simple system. The actual nut you was asking about, you shouldn't have to even put a wrench on that nut. You just take the cotter key. There's going to be a cotter key in there that's locking it in a certain position. You should probably be able to even take that off with your hand. So if you're not able to take it off very easily, there may be something wrong there. But make sure you take the cotter key out. Stephen Coon says he likes to use white silicone grease in bearings. That's cool. Now, you know, when you start worrying about getting the most miles per hour out of your golf cart, you can experiment with all of that stuff. Like I've done it myself. Number 7. Fish says, how many golf carts do you have, Tim? My wife thinks I'm an idiot because I want more than one cart. I have one cart for golf, but I want a four-seater just for fun. Oh yeah, I'm I'm the kind of guy who always believed in there's a specific tool for every application, for every purpose. I mean, that's why you have, how many people only have one gun? I mean, you got a gun for this, you got a gun for that, it's the same thing. How many people that play the guitar only have one guitar? I mean, one motorcycle. See, that's very rare. You have to have all these specific things for specific applications. And in your case, that's exactly what you're talking about. You have to have one I have a golf cart that is basically just for spraying my yard. That's what I use my G1 for, is I spray my yard with, because it's got a tank on the back. It's got an electric tank to spray. But then if I wanted to have a neighborhood cart, I might have something like Big Mike. If I'm riding around the neighborhood trying to drink beer or something with my buds, I'd have a cart like that with big old tall tires on it or something, that was all fancy with underglows and everything like that. Well, you wouldn't want to really necessarily use that cart to spray your yard, especially if you got a rough yard, and you get it all dirty and everything. You might want one to have clean. Like I have a lifted one and a non-lifted one now. So I only have three. I've got three golf carts now. But there was a time when I had way more than that. But I'm down to three. William Risso says, we have four. Our new house came with one. Oh, cool. That's always good. David Irwin, that's why I have 10 toolboxes full of tools. Exactly. The right tool for the right application. Fish says, so I'm not an idiot. No, of course not. You're in the right room. When no one's here, no one in this room is going to call you an idiot for needing more than one golf cart. Big Mike says he works the hell out of his lifted fancy cart, and he's surprised it hasn't burned something up. Kirk says, do you have a cart for carrying your wife and two dogs? Well, you got to understand, Dino by the way, Dino's still with me. I don't know if anybody remembers, he kind of had a spell about a month ago, and we thought we were going to lose him. Because if he makes it to January, he will be 15, and he's an 80-pound boy. So 15-year-old, 80-pound boy. Anyway, that being said, Dino's been with me ever since he was brand new. So he's been with me for almost 15 years. And he was an only child or an only dog for a very long time, up until 5 years ago. So for 10 years, he was the only one. So my wife, myself, and Dino, we got no problem fitting in a regular golf cart. He knows how to stand in the floorboard and look out the side, and he'll jump out and run until he gets tired. Then he'll come jump back in and turn around and look out the side. But now that we got two dogs, I actually do not have a golf cart that I can take two big dogs, because Tilly, my other dog, she's 70 pounds, so she's almost as big as Dino. So don't have a golf cart right now that I can take everybody. But Tilly's not as excited about the golf cart as Dino is. Dino's always loved riding in the golf cart. Tilly doesn't need to. She can run alongside. William Rizzo says, God bless Dino. He actually is improved. He went through what is called, I don't know if I even said all this last time I was live or not. He had what's called a vestibular issue, VES, vestibular issue, and it's an inner ear thing. And he completely lost track of everything he was doing and couldn't walk and everything. And it was very scary. Very scary to watch. But he has improved. My wife got on the internet, and between her and the veterinarian, they assured her that this was an improvable situation. He's doing better. He is doing better, a lot better, a lot better. He's not back to 100%, but he's getting close. Awesome, that is great. Dino is still kicking. Yep. Helpless, you probably see some of the stuff my wife posts on Facebook. I think I saw you comment on one of them one day. And dyno's always a part of it, you know, anything that we do. Joe says, what is your lake cart? I don't actually have one at the lake. I don't have a golf cart at the lake. I don't have a place to keep it at the lake. That happened to my wife. She was dizzy for about a month or so. Yeah, dyno was very, very dizzy. And don't know why it happened, you know, and it happens in, sometimes it happens in older dogs, and the vet said sometimes it can happen in younger dogs too, but it definitely happened to him, and it came on all of a sudden. And he was non-functional. He couldn't do anything. We thought it was his time, but he proved that it is not. Not quite yet. It's going to be funny, or not funny. It's going to be amazing if he makes it to 15. But that will be January. Okay. I'll probably do this number 7 and then we'll shut it down. I'll show pictures after this number 7. This is from David E. I have a 99 club car and it has the split front seat. I also have a rear seat kit on it. I was wondering if you could swap the front seat over from the dual to a single one. Went to the club car in town and they looked at me like I was crazy and didn't know what I was talking about. Can this mod be done? The back seat brackets for the front and rear are plastic and are starting to crack. Thanks in advance. I don't know why they looked at you like you were crazy, because I know exactly what you're talking about. The older club car at 1 year, you know, they had the double back and you're wondering if you could go to the triple back. Well, anything could be done with modifications, but you're going to have, you know, 2 of them sit beside each other. There's not going to be a kit that I know of that actually bolts on and allows you to do that unless somebody knows about it. To convert a club car with dual backrest to a single backrest, you know, I'm sure that it could be done, but you'd have to look at both of them side by side and see what you could come up with if you're into that kind of stuff, if you're into fabricating things. Maybe that's what's going on with Fish's wife and thinking she doesn't need another ride. Yeah, yeah. All right, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and shut the regular ones down. We talked about that. Let's see. I did the social media links. Yep, I did those. Like I said earlier, we are going to give away a hat next Tuesday. So here's the hats. I don't remember if we got links in the description. Maybe something we forgot. We'll have to check on that. But you can go to golfcartgarage.com and buy a hat if you would like. But we do give these away on the channel. So we got that. Let's go ahead and do Let's See, because I do have a picture queued up. Let's see some golf carts. Craig sent me a picture. Craig, I don't even know if Craig is in the room or not. I'll have to do better about naming these pictures. There we go. This some event he was at. This is a fire truck golf cart. That's Craig's son and his friend in a fire truck golf cart. I decided that I would feature that one. Looks like it may even have a Rolls Royce front end on it. Thank you for sending me that, Craig. And anybody else want to send me some pictures, please feel free to. I'll put my email address up here. Got a new thing for my email address. Where is it at? Bam. Uh-oh. It don't show up with the picture up there. I'll get it in just a second. Nope, that didn't work. All right, I'm gonna have to take the picture down. There's a good picture of fire truck golf cart. I tell you what, kids love golf carts. When I was my shop was open, I'd have all kinds of golf carts, lined up in there. And if someone was coming over to look at some golf carts for sale, I would always ask them in advance. If they were talking to me on the phone, trying to figure out where I was located, I would ask them in advance, do they have any children with them? And I did that for a reason, because if they did, I had to go through my whole showroom and pull the keys out of every golf cart in there and put them in my pocket before they came over. Because 3-year-olds to 6-year-olds, they're gonna sit in the golf cart, and the first thing they look for is the key and the gas pedal, the key and the accelerator pedal. That's the first thing they're gonna do, and they're gonna crash into the wall, or depending on how old they are. You got to be careful. The kids love them that much, is what I'm saying, and they've been watching you drive your car, all these years, since they were brand new. They've been watching you drive your car. They know about the key and the accelerator pedal. That's all they see, So they get on this little car and think that that's what they're supposed to do. Oh, I forgot what I was doing. Oh, this is what I was trying to do. There's my email thing. So send me some pictures to 00timfreeman@gmail.com. The number 00timfreeman@gmail.com. There. All right, let me go ahead. Let's see, Harry Fike, hit the like button, please, guys. Thank you, Harry. William Flowers, running a stock 97 Club Car DS, standard shift. Lifetime 36 volt, lithium 60 amp hour. When I stop to cross road and stomp accelerator to jump across road, battery shuts down. See, that's what I'm getting at, William. When I ask about completely stock golf cart, you can that a 60 amp hour is only designed for a replacement battery pack, for a completely stock, because you can really put a jolt on a 60 amp. The bigger the battery pack is, the bigger the amp hour is, the less voltage drop your BMS is going to see. Every lithium's got a BMS. So the bigger the amp hour, the less voltage drop that your BMS is going to see. So your BMS is sitting there all the time, and it's looking for a dramatic voltage drop that goes past a certain point. And lifetime, if it's not a changeable one, well, like mine's not even Bluetooth. My lifetime is not even Bluetooth. So I can't change anything. So there would be a point, if I hit it too hard, that it would shut down. Mine's 105 amp. 60 amp is going to be easier to do on a 60 amp. So that's what I was talking about earlier. Yeah. William Rizzo says, I sent you 2 emails. Okay, cool, William. Just for your review. Yeah. Thank you, William, for letting me know that. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier. You got to be careful about undersizing your battery pack. There is no problem at all by overkilling your battery pack, by oversizing your battery pack. When you're talking about going lithium, there's no issue with that whatsoever, but there could be an issue with undersizing your battery pack, and that would be the issue right there, what William is pointing out right there. You really get in it to cross the road and get out of traffic, and it may shut your battery down on you, with an undersized battery pack. That's what I'm saying. So that's why Big Mike, his question, I think 160 in his case would be a good choice, 160 amp hour, because he's got tall tires and he's a bigger guy too. All of that combined is really going to put a strain on his battery. 160 would handle that no problem. All right, I'll put that back up there in a minute. If you need to contact us at Golf Cart Garage, you got a couple of ways. You can either do it straight to me with that email I just had up there, the 00timfreeman@gmail. Here's the regular number, support@golfcartgarage.com, and there's the phone number. If you need that to go to me, you can put attention Tim on it. Somebody there will actually make sure that I get it. Standard shift means no run tow switch. I got you, William. So it's a series wound cart. Here is the active coupon. See how that works. Check that out. Got my new coupon. Get 5% off your purchase if you go to golfcartgarage.com and use coupon code GHOD, the number 10. 10. GHOD 10. Might need to increase that. Can y'all see, tell me from your point of view on that coupon code, can you read the date? Because I'm having trouble reading the date. It's like it needs to be a little bit, the whole coupon needs to be resized. Tell me if y'all can read the expiration date there at the bottom of that coupon code. I guess you can. David Irwin says November 30th. That is what it is. Just doesn't look on my screen. It's a little too small. Kurt says the old way was better. All right. Kevin says, yeah, you can read it, but bigger wouldn't hurt. All right, well, we're going to make that bigger. GHOD 10 at checkout. Use that code to get 5% off. Okay. That looks like it's going to be about it, guys. We're doing better. 36 views, 25 likes. Still hit the like button. Thank you, sir. David Irwin. No more Tim code. Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. I forgot to ask about that. I did. I forgot to ask about that. Mike says you guys are old. I can read it just fine. Yeah, but you watch this on the big screen, don't you, Mike? I think you said that before. Mike Morrison, did you get my question? Did you ask a question, Mike Morrison? Did I miss it? Or did you send me an email? Tell me where. I'm looking back, Mike Morrison. I don't see it. Did I miss it? Yeah, you're looking at it on the big screen. Not everybody is, so we might have to, that's what I'm saying. Might need to increase that, Big Mike. With feedback, we'll make sure and fix that next week. Thanks, Dave. Resize coupon. Thank you there, Joe. We will do that. We will resize coupon for next week. Not a problem. All right, guys. Go to golfcartgarage.com and check out our batteries. You know, if you're in the market for lithium, I think we've got a 10%, up to 10% off going on some of our lithium stuff. So go check that out. If you're, I sent a question. Mike Marson says he sent a question about Trojan 1275s. Well, it's not in my list today, Mike. What is your question? If you can type it in, I can tell you everything I know about Trojan 1275s. That setup with 4 Trojan 1275s is not as good as 6 8-volts. The 4 12-volt system is not as, and what I mean by not as good, I mean that they're not going to last as long. 412.75, 4 months ago had 1 dead cell, now have 2 more with dead cells. The batteries are now 2.5 years old. Did I get a bad batch of batteries? Mike, I can tell you this, a set of brand new Trojan 1275s is very reliable, but it is not reliable as long as the 6 8s, is what I'm saying. The 6 8s is actually a more reliable system in longevity. There have been more problems out of the 4 12-volt Trojan T1275s than 6 T8 T105s for the 36 volt car, or T875s for the 48 volt car. The 412 volts, that's why Club Car even made a retrofit kit. If your Club Car came with 412 volts, they made a retrofit kit to change your battery rack up where you could change it back to 6/8 if you wanted to. So now what you're saying is very fast for you to end up having problems, because 4 months you had one dead cell and now they're only 2.5 years old. I've seen those batteries go out for that 412 volt system. I've seen those go out as quick as 3 to 3.5 years. I haven't seen any at 2.5 years, but I have seen them need to be replaced at 3.5. So you could have gotten a bad batch. There's no doubt about it. Or you could have gotten a bad battery or two, in your batch, just been unlucky. I wouldn't be afraid of doing it again, but keep in mind, you could only be doing it again for 3.5 more years. If you wanted to go more than that, it's time to go lithium, man. That'd be the best way to do it. Just solve your whole issue. Just go lithium. Get you 105 amp hour lithium put in there and you'd be done. And I think you're going to be surprised how low the prices are that you can get on that. Joe Foster, very last comment. All right, guys. Looks like that's going to be about it. Thank everybody for showing up today, and sorry about the glitch last week. And I think we've got everything worked out now. Everything seems to be going off without a hitch today. So I will see everybody next week, Taco Tuesday at 12 noon Central Time. Come see us here with your golf cart questions, and we'll see if we can get to it. If I don't know the answers, I guarantee you somebody in the room will either have an idea, or we will be able to save you some money or point you in the right direction somewhere. That's what this is all about. So thank everybody for showing up. I will see everybody next week. Garage is now closed.